Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today we're going to talk about Splintercoach. I'm going to look at some of my personalized data from my rank battle experience within Splinterlands. And I'm going to talk with Jim Morgan about what I'm seeing. I'm trying to analyze the data in a way that's both entertaining and that I can learn from. And I hope that you're seeing that within this tool. It is fun and potentially powerful as like a tool that'll help you extract more reward for your time and attention, because it might just help you win more. It might help you identify why you're losing when you're losing. So that's what we're going to talk about here with Jim, and you're going to see some fun speculation on what I'm seeing within my data and how I might explain that. I hope you stick around for this one, and thank you Splintercoach for being sponsor of the channel. Have an amazing day. God bless. Oh, Shieldpaw is so powerful, and the price is actually like relatively reasonable. This is gold foil. Forget, and you know what? Like, if gold foil is not your jam, man. Actually, let's talk about Splintercoach for a few minutes, because I'm really enjoying it. Plus, as I look at these prices, I keep thinking in my head, who wins more, Kelia, Quix, or Shield? And I'm pretty sure it's Shieldpaw, secondly Quix, and lastly Frendel. But man, Astral Entity to me is like just crushing. And maybe I have a uniquely powerful death deck. I don't really know. But let me pull up this stuff here. Splintercoach.com, guys. I know I mentioned it, but you can check it out. 7-day free trials. And they're sponsoring the channel for the next little bit here. And look at this. Like, with all my value, I'm only a 500 player. But you know what? The thing is, I was thinking about this. The tracking of the lifetime value, or the current month. The current month is probably more telling, as the data, like obviously as the data keeps pouring in. Seeing your current month will be interesting versus your lifetime. Trying to stay above your lifetime and therefore constantly improving. But one thing I know about this is that you're always moving up in the rank. So, you know, at the beginning of the season, you're in a lower league, you're fighting still in the same league, but you're fighting at a lower tier of the same league. And then you slowly climb up and up. And so you usually, by the end of the season, are going to be fighting people that are higher and more powerful and richer than you. And so it ends up becoming, you're fighting no matter where you're at, silver, gold, bronze, diamond, champ. You're always usually stepping up you're punching up, I think, probably wherever you're at. And so it's interesting to see. I'm just like astonished that like $50,000 worth of cards and I'm still only 500. But there are certain cards that are really expensive and lose. Like let's look at a couple that are surprisingly low in sort of performance. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Look at this, Wizard of Eastwood. Maybe that's not too surprising. 3 and 11. Contessa Lament, 2 and 6. I mean, that's a pretty small data pool. You could imagine probably throwing that out there in some news. I could turn that around pretty quick. 3-4 matches and maybe I'd be 500. But this is pretty bad. Wizard of Eastwood. I know my face is probably in the way.
Dude, I really wish that this was a thing when I was, having Kelia be played. Because you would see I would have the lowest score with her.
Kelly, I have a pretty bad score with her. Kelly, I'm at 33 and 31.
Ooh.
And that's a lot of games for a minimal, for a pretty break-even situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Conqueror Jacek, I'm 21 and 32. And this has been very bad since like almost I started tracking. So over the last 25 days or so, or whatever it's been, this was worse before, but it's like Conqueror Jacek. And you can see some of the partnerships I'm using. I don't know, something's not working here. Let's have a peek. Let's go. You can go into different mana caps and see where am I playing it that I'm getting slapped. Because one of these, like, it's okay. Those are all relatively okay. Ooh, look at that. From the 40 to 49 mana cap, I'm absolutely getting destroyed. I wonder if this is a product of first of all, in this mana cap, when Conqueror Jacek is being played, that means my opponent has access to fire and access to legendary summoners. So maybe my opponents are playing Jotun in some of these losses, because this is a high mana cap match with a fire team where legendaries are available, and you could imagine a real strong Jotun team. Maybe that's part of what's happening. But that's a brutal 5 and 14 at that mana cap. And then a mediocre 10 and 12 at the higher. So I'm struggling on this one here, and I don't exactly know why, but you can see some of the cards like Supply Runner. I'm using 30 of these times, and it's not working. It's not working so hot. But I like this stuff. I enjoy looking at this data and then trying to figure out what I can glean from it. But I wanted to show two things, and I forgot. One, which summoners are winning the most, and two, which summoners are losing the most. And I think the biggest loser was probably Eastwood. Yeah, at least for me. And then second, look at this surprising data. Archmage Arya 6 and 11. That's an expensive summoner, and it's not winning. Yeah, Eastwood and surprisingly Archmage Arius. But then of the winners, Lily Shieldpaw 24 and 12, and Thaddius Brood 24 and 13.
Ooh,
and Quix the Devious too, a strong performance at 24 and 15. So those are the, like, for me at least, the big winners, and they're all relatively cheap. Devious, Brood, and Shieldpaw are, you know, currently available for very reasonable price points. What do you think of that, Jim? Any questions or thoughts on, like, I don't know, some of these card performances? Or
yeah, I'm kind of surprised by the Thaddius, but on second hand, I just love that card so much, and I know how powerful he is.
Mm-hmm.
And also the Quix, I think he was like right above him previous.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and so I love seeing Quix played. You know, I prefer that one over the Lily Shieldpaw because I do really like that, getting that speed control, and then the minus range is always nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Quix is another really good one, especially with the 2 mana cost less. So definitely.
Makes me want to. It kind of makes me want to go see what Thaddius Brood's price is and buy a few more copies. Shieldpaw too is like, I mean, Shieldpaw is great, man. Like this is when people thought this was like just a whatever card. I think it's very obviously it's working for me, but I mean, this is a strong card. Very, very strong. I mean, the triage is very significant. The camouflage lets you to control. One of the most important things in this game is that ability to bottleneck your opponent. Or another way of saying that is like control what how your opponent approaches you, because that creates an opportunity for you to counterplay them in a reliable fashion. You no longer are hoping they do X, Y, and Z. You are making them do X, Y, and Z, and then you can respond to it in a way that works. Like I can imagine, like Shieldpaw, look at this, is working really well with Cambio. So you put him in the tank position, and then you know that the opponents are gonna come at him because of the camouflage, and then he's so evasive, and you can build a team around that where he's got a huge hit point base, so you can support him with heals and repairs. Obviously, Titania or Constantia is in there with the res and the heal. And then look at Merdali Guardian, 11 and 1 in partnership with Shieldpaw, probably highly supporting the Cambio to keep it alive, because you're talking 5 hit point heal from one healer because of the Cambio's base hit points. And then the blind from the Chaos Dragon and the slow from the Bakjir, or from I can imagine like this in the first, this in the second, in a big mana match. Let's see where the main mana caps. I bet it's bigger. Look at that. 8 and 6 at 50, 60. 4 and 2 at 40 to 49. 9 and 3 in that's a relatively low mana cap. 9 and 3. In low mana caps, sometimes opponents will try sneak plays or opportunity plays, and this camouflage in that context might be resolving their, kind of responding to their intentions in a sense. Cool. I love it. Yeah, guys, check it out. Astral Nightmare is your favorite, Bobby? That one's killing it for me. Nightmare is, I think, 11 and a peak. Where is it? Astral Entity, 11 and 2. Look at that record, 846. But again, I must have a strong death. You know what I think it is? Astral Entity / Thaddius Brood, they both partner well with the redemption sort of minor, the low mana cap with weaken. There's a weaken with redemption, weaken, and also Dr. Blight has scavenge. And so by the time he gets discovered at the front, he's got 15 hit points, and you end up, because of the weakens available, there's 1 weaken, 2 weaken, 3 weakens, plus redemption. You end up getting, in some cases, there's another redemption too. You end up getting all kinds of redemption damage to your opponent, and then Dr. Blight finishes him off. That's one thing that's happening over here with Thaddius. And I bet if I show you the rules of the mana caps, it'll, like, in the 20 to 29, look at that, 12 and 19, Thaddius just wins because of that play. And then if we go over here and we look at Astral Entity, I bet it's very similar. Ooh, actually, no, not really. In terms of the participants, totally different vibe. But I do occasionally do the redemption play with this guy because he gets the resurrect.
Mm-hmm.